Hello and welcome to Nature's Rhythms update for November. And this is a time where we take a look at where we are in the cycle of the year and how that relates to other cycles and that particular archetypal phase of cycles. Because there are cycles within cycles, and we have cycles in our relationships, in our working life, in our family life, in the day, in our whole of our lifetime. And when we really link in with these cycles and learn to work with the energy of the time, we're also able to complete cycles and begin new ones. So life stays fresh and curious, and we're not staying in places where often our strengths are. We often have strengths in particular archetypal phases, and then that strength can often be something that becomes quite stagnant because we tend to stay there or to keep going to that phase. So it's a wonderful way to keep energy flowing through life, to keep you balanced and healthy, both inside and outside. My name's Leanne Campbell. I'm a life and wellbeing coach and a somatic guide, and I'm co-creator of a Handpicked life. If you'd like to understand more about creating a balanced approach to creating change in your life and experience a cycle of transformation, then check out the link below, and we have a free course there so you can have the whole experience. So today we're looking at November, and we're in the middle of autumn, and autumn is a season of letting go. It's a transformational time of year where we've reached the harvest at the end of the summer. We've reflected on making space in order to let go, and now's a time to really deep dive and release those habits that no longer serve us. So this is a time, if you feel that you're in a point where you're really wanting to let go, to change something, and you're not quite getting there, you feel that you're stuck in a loop, then please check out the October Nature's Rhythms update, where we spent time creating space and preparing in order for the letting go to be just how nature does it, in that elegant, beautiful way of just knowing what no longer serves, what needs to be released in order for fresh life to be able to be dreamed up deep in the earth in those winter months and ready to come to fruition. And at any time of this, any cycle where you're experiencing this archetypal phase, when we're able to let go. And letting go often is when we step back again to what we know, particularly if we're living a busy life, if we're stressed, you'll tend to want to hang on to what you know. So the preparation for this, making space in your body, working with the energies of the lung and the large intestine, which are organs that really understand transformation in a deep somatic way. That's what they do. They help to clear out, they help to transform. And working with somatic practices, so you've got that deep dialogue with your body of safety. You know what you want to let go of, and you're ready now to shed in that graceful, easy, beautiful way in order to move on through the cycle. So the question you are asking yourself is, why am I sabotaging myself? And that can feel pretty strong, but remember there's a real difference between taking the blame and taking responsibility. Responsibility gives you power, because if you're taking responsibility for something that you're doing, then you can also take responsibility and choose something else. When you start to blame yourself and berate yourself, you're disempowering yourself, and you're putting yourself in a place where I don't have any control over this. So those questions of, why am I sabotaging? What's the belief? What is it? But you're doing that to yourself in a really kind, curious, open way. For example, if you're wanting to make progress with a project or something within your business and you keep procrastinating, what is it? What is it? What's the fear there? What is it that's really holding you back? If you're finding in your relationship you keep being irritable, you keep exploding in ways that you really don't want to, what is it? What's really behind that niggle? It may be that you're wanting to change something really simple. It might be a health regime, and somehow you just keep getting up and doing the same thing. What's the payoff for doing that? Is there something in your identity that you don't want to let go of? And these are just simply questions. But the more we ask ourselves them, and sometimes you don't get the answer immediately. Sometimes you may get it a few days later when you're doing something completely different, but just open up the possibility to receive more clarity on this, and that will help you get to the root. So 95% of the day we're operating from our subconscious mind, and particularly when we're living a fast-paced life, we tend to get onto automatic pilot. And when we do that, it's very difficult to make change because we stay with what we know. So when we work with somatic practices, what we do is we get into the subconscious, so the body starts to hold memory in a different way. It allows you to create space, and it allows you to feel safe. So letting go in order to allow something new isn't something that is scary, isn't something that goes against your survival. And the more that we practice that and we create this dialogue with the body, the easier it is to shed those things that no longer serve us. And I'm sure you've experienced those times where you know you'd like to change a particular habit. You know you're not particularly happy in a relationship or in a situation. And yet the change seems far more scary. So we tend to stay with things even though they're not making us happy, even though we're not thriving, but we know it and it's safe. Now, when we work to getting the body into that safe space and then introducing possibility while we're feeling like that, it's so much easier than to change your direction and go in the direction that is really going to help you to thrive. And working somatically bypasses the mind and allows you to get to the core of something much quicker and to create change. Not only to create change, but to keep life open and curious and spacious. So we're continually reevaluating, allowing different experiences into our life and fleshing ourselves out as human beings. So in this month's somatic practice, we're going to work with tapping, also known as emotional freedom technique. Now, this is a wonderful way to speak to the body and to be able to start where you are. So when we tap, what we're doing is we're tapping on different acupressure points that relate to different organs in the body, and each organ relates to a different emotion. So as we do that, and we begin to address something that we feel that we'd like to let go of and that is problematic, there's also the other part of us that just keeps keeping it, even if we don't want to. So we've got that split between what the mind is saying and what we're actually experiencing and doing. And tapping's a great way to calm the stress response in the body. So as we're addressing something, we're able to feel more spacious, calmer. And when we get to that place, we then can introduce new possibilities. So we get to the point that we feel differently about something. And when we feel differently, then we get all our energy in one direction. And from there, we can act in a way that's much easier, that has much more of a flow to it. We've changed our Nature's Rhythms format slightly after your feedback, and thank you so much for your support. So if you'd like to now practice, you can check out the link below, because we understand that some of you like to listen while you're cooking or while you're driving, and then do the practices when you can actually be present and you've got more time. So check out the link below and practice this throughout this month and see for yourself how much more you can drop into the flow, complete a cycle, and enjoy this time of letting go and transformation. If you've enjoyed the video, then please subscribe, please like, give us a thumbs up, and please share. And I look forward to seeing you again in December.